If you're over 50 and trying to lose weight, you may have been told that you need to count every calorie, weigh every portion, and track everything you eat. But what if you could lose weight without spending the rest of your life counting calories? Indeed, you can. Now, let me be clear, calories still matter. If you consistently eat more energy than your body needs, losing weight becomes difficult. But that does not mean you have to count every calorie you eat. There is another way, and it fits remarkably well with biblical principles of temperance, simplicity, self control, and caring for the body God has given us. Today, I'm going to show you how to lose weight after 50 without obsessively counting calories. And stay with me because towards the end, I'm going to give you a simple formula you can begin using with your very next meal. Welcome to Healthy Aging God's Way, where biblical principles meet evidence based health. I'm Gerald Coleman, a registered nurse, certified holistic nutrition consultant, and a pastor. And on this channel, I help adults over 50 improve their health using practical lifestyle principles that are consistent with God's Word. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from people is this: I'm trying to eat less, but I'm still not losing weight. Or I lost the weight before, but I gained it right back. And part of the problem is that many people are following a system they cannot realistically maintain for the rest of their lives. You may be able to count calories for 6 weeks. You may even be able to do it for 6 months. But are you going to weigh and measure everything you eat for the next 20 years? Probably not. So instead of building your health around constant calculation, I want you to build it around principles. And here is the first one. Principle number one: eat foods that fill you without overloading you with calories. Now, this is one of the most important things for you to understand, that different foods can affect fullness very differently. You can eat several hundred calories of chips, cookies, pastries, and other highly processed foods and still feel like eating more. But foods that naturally contain a lot of water and fiber can fill your stomach with much less calorie density. Now, think about beans and lentils, vegetables, fruit, whole grains, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Now, these foods, they definitely give you volume, and volume matters. It helps you feel like you have actually eaten a meal. So, one of the easiest ways to naturally reduce calories without counting them is to make whole plant foods the foundation of your meals. So, instead of asking, how many calories am I allowed to eat? You change the question around. You start asking, what kind of food am I filling my plate with? This is a completely different mindset. All right, now, principle number two: make fiber one of your greatest allies. Now, fiber adds bulk to your meals. It can help you feel satisfied. And naturally, fiber rich foods can usually take longer to chew and to eat. Now, compare that with many ultra processed foods. They're easy to chew, they're easy to swallow, and they're very easy to overeat. Try eating a large bowl of lentils quickly. Your body is going to know you ate something. This is part of the advantage. You do not want to spend your entire day fighting hunger. You want to structure your meals so that your natural fullness signals begin working for you instead of against you. And after 50, the goal should not simply be to lose weight. No, the goal should be losing excess body fat while protecting your health, your strength, and your independence. Principle number three: get enough protein. Now, this becomes increasingly important as we get older. When people are trying to lose weight, I do not simply want them to become smaller. I want them losing excess body fat while preserving as much lean muscle as possible. Muscle matters after 50. It helps support your strength and does so much more. It helps support your balance and your mobility. your metabolic health, and your ability to continue doing the things that you enjoy doing as you age. This is why your meals should contain meaningful protein. And if you eat plant based, that could include beans and lentils, chickpeas, tofu, tempeh, edamame, soy foods, and other protein rich plant foods. A quality plant protein supplement may also be useful when appropriate. Protein can also help with fullness. So you do not build meals that leave you hungry an hour later. You want to build meals that actually satisfy you. So, principle number 4, be careful about drinking your calories. This is a big one. This one can make a bigger difference than many people realize. Liquid calories can be very easy to consume. Sugary drinks, sweetened coffee beverages, juice, dessert style smoothies. You can drink hundreds of calories very quickly and barely feel like you've eaten anything. Now, I do use smoothies, but I build mine very intentionally. I use fruit, ground flaxseed powder, chia seeds, protein, unsweetened soy milk. You see, the goal is not to create a liquid dessert. The goal is to make something nutritionally substantial. And throughout the day, water should be doing most of the work. Sometimes the simplest changes produce some of the biggest results. Principle number 5, stop grazing all day. This is where many people unknowingly sabotage themselves. You eat breakfast, then a few nuts, then some crackers, then a smoothie, then a piece of fruit, then lunch, then something in the afternoon, then dinner, then another little snack while watching television. Now, none of those decisions may seem like much by itself, but by the end of the day, you have been eating almost continuously. And instead, eat satisfying meals and allow some space between them. You should not have to spend your entire day thinking about food. And there is a biblical principle here that I think we have largely forgotten. And it's found in Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 17. And it says this: Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. Notice the principle: eat in due season and eat for strength. Not simply because you're bored, not because you're stressed, not because food happens to be sitting right in front of you. You see, food has a purpose. Principle number 6, make your environment work for you. You can have tremendous willpower and still struggle if you are constantly surrounded by foods that trigger you to eat. If cookies are sitting on the kitchen counter, you are going to see them. If chips are beside your chair, you're going to think about them. If ice cream is in your freezer, eventually you're going to remember it is there. So stop making healthy living unnecessarily difficult. Set up your environment to support the person you are trying to become. Keep fruit where you can see it. Prepare beans and whole grains ahead of time. And wash and cut your vegetables. Have healthy meals ready when you get hungry. And do not routinely bring foods into your house that you already know are difficult for you to control. Now, this is not weakness. This is wisdom. Proverbs 22 verse 3 says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself." Pretty powerful, isn't it? Sometimes the wisest strategy is not proving you can resist temptation. It is reducing unnecessary temptation in the first place. Principle number 7, build muscle and move your body. Now, you cannot talk seriously about healthy aging after 50 without talking about exercise, and especially strength training. Now, as we age, preserving muscle becomes increasingly important. That's why I recommend both cardiovascular exercise and resistance training. Now, walking is excellent. And cycling, indeed, can also be excellent. Swimming can be excellent. But do not ignore your muscles. Use resistance bands. Use dumbbells. Use machines. Use body weight exercises. Whatever is appropriate for your physical condition. You do not have to become a bodybuilder, but you should challenge those muscles. And do not think of exercise as punishment for something you ate. Exercise is part of caring for the body God has entrusted to you. In 1 Corinthians 6, verses 19 and 20, it says, "What know you not that your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you? Therefore glorify God in your body." Your health habits can become an act of stewardship. Now, I promised you a formula. Now, here's your simple formula. So, how do you put all this together without counting calories? Here is a simple framework. At most meals, build your plate around four things. First, vegetables or fruit. Give yourself volume, nutrients, and fiber. Second, include a strong protein source: beans, lentils, tofu, tempeh, or another quality rich protein food. And third, include an intact or minimally processed carbohydrate. That will include potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown rice, oats, barley, whole grains. And fourth, include a modest amount of healthy, higher fat foods. Now, this could include nuts and seeds, avocado, and tahini. But pay attention to that word, modest. Modest, okay? These foods are indeed nutritious, but they are also calorie dense. You can absolutely overeat healthy food. So a handful of nuts and several handfuls of nuts are not the same thing. This is where temperance comes in. Now here's why this works. This approach helps reduce the need to obsess over every calorie because you are challenging the quality and structure of your diet. You are eating foods that tend to give you more fiber. They give you more water. They give you more volume, more nutritional value, and adequate protein. At the same time, you are reducing foods that make it very easy to consume a large number of calories before your fullness signals catch up. Now, I do want to make one thing clear. Whole food, plant-based eating is not magic. If you are eating large amounts of nuts, nut butters, oils, dried fruit, and other calorie-dense foods, you can still prevent weight loss. And if your weight or waist measurement is not changing over time, then something may need to be adjusted. But now we are making strategic adjustments instead of living by a calculator. And that brings me to a bigger issue. I do not want you spending the rest of your life dieting. I want you to develop a way of living that produces a healthier body as a result of healthier habits. There is a tremendous difference. You see, a diet asks, how quickly can I lose 20 pounds? A lifestyle asks, how should I live so that 5 years from now, I am healthier than I am today? Now, I believe that is much closer to the biblical principles of stewardship. God has given you one body. You do not get another one. So the question should not simply be, how can I get skinny? The better question is, how can I care for this body so that I remain useful, strong, independent, and capable of fulfilling God's purpose for my life? Now, that is a goal worth pursuing. Now, if you need more than information, now some of you listening to this already know many of these things, but you know you should eat better. You know you should exercise. You know you need to get enough sleep. You know you need to manage stress. But knowing what to do and consistently doing it are two very different things. And that is exactly why I created my 12-week Healthy Aging God's Way coaching program. Because sometimes you do not need more information, you need a plan, you need accountability, and you need someone helping you turn what you know into what you consistently do. Now, in this program, we work step by step on nutrition, movement, sleep, stress, blood pressure, and weight tracking, and the daily habits that make healthy living sustainable. This is not about going on another temporary diet. It is about building a lifestyle you can actually live with. And I have already seen what can happen when people follow that process. 7 people recently completed my initial 12-week program, and every one of them improved their blood pressure, and every one of them lost weight. So, if you're over 50 and you want to lower your blood pressure, reduce stubborn belly fat, and build healthier habits that you can actually maintain, click the link in the description to learn more about the 12-week Healthy Aging God's Way coaching program. And if you're not ready for coaching yet, you can also download my free 7-day belly fat and blood pressure reset guide from the link in the description. So here's your action step. For the next 7 days, do not start by counting calories. No, start by changing the structure of your meals. At each meal, ask yourself, where's my fiber? Where's my protein? Where are my whole plant foods? And then ask yourself one more question. Am I eating because I'm genuinely hungry or simply because food is available? And make one more commitment. Move your body consistently. And if you are medically able, include strength training at least a couple times each week. Then pay attention. Pay attention to your hunger. Pay attention to your energy, your waistline, and how you feel. Because the goal is not simply to lose weight. The goal is to build a way of living that helps you become healthier as you age. Now, if this video helped you, subscribe to Healthy Aging God's Way, where biblical principles meet evidence-based health. And remember, you do not need to spend the rest of your life counting calories. I want you to build better habits. I want you to choose better foods. I want you to practice temperance. Move your body. Honor God with your health. And then let the results follow. We'll see you soon.